आज हमें लेबर लॉ लास्ट क्लास माने जहाँ पढ़ी हम रिविजन करवा आज किसी नुआ चैप्टर पढ़ानी we are doing a revision of all our discussion in the last class. This paper is labor legislation, labor law, all these acts related to labor law. Broadly, the syllabus is categorized into three parts. As you have seen it before, the first part is related to industry, industrial relations. The second part is related to the compensation, wages and bonus. The third part is related to social security. Workmen's Compensation Act, ESI Act, EPF Act, Maternity Act, Payment of Gratuity Act, and yesterday we discussed the Insurance Act. The entire syllabus is divided into three sections, three parts. Industrial relations will go through quickly all this what we discussed. Industrial relations in this we discussed how one can have a good relations, what is the impact of having a bad relations, and how the industry and the country is impacted through strike, lockup, all these things, how the productivity is deteriorated in case of strike. So if the productivity is coming down, it is impacting to country's economy. We studied all these things in an industrial relationship. There are two major things we studied: industrial hire act, industrial dispute, how dispute is created, and the trade union. The second thing is wages, minimum wages, bonus. What is the role of labor law, international labor organization, ILO? All these things we studied. Then the social act, under social act, we studied the ESI, EPF, gratuity, maternity, all this act. So because of this act, the employees are getting benefited and their moral courage, their engagement level, their self-satisfaction is increased because of all this act. So we studied in last maybe 15-20 class all this act. So today we go through quickly. Under Industrial Dispute Act, we understood how this law is converted. These things we understood how the bill is passing through parliament, then the president is approving, then it is converted into law. Initially it was a draft. Then we understood the definition. What is the definition of industry? What is the definition of industrial dispute? Industrial dispute can arise from all sources. You see the three bullets, employers and employers. અને એમ્પ્લોયી को भीतर यदि झगड़ा लगिला किंबा एम्प्लॉई एम्प्लॉयर का सहित झगड़ा है किंबा एम्प्लॉयर एम्प्लॉयर से झगड़ा है. There are three sources of industrial dispute. What are these three sources? If there is a fight between employers and employers, that means there are different organizations, there are different owners, they are fighting each other. Employers and workmen, the people who are working, they are fighting between their owners. And workmen and workmen, the employees are fighting between them. So the dispute arises from all these regions. What are the schedule we have discussed? What is the objective of Industrial Dispute Act? Why this act is initiated? What it does? What are the features of Industrial Dispute Act? Different forms of industrial dispute. If there is a dispute happens, how it is reflecting? It is reflecting through strike, lockout, boycott, how all these things we discuss. Then there are some questions. Trade unions, definitions, functions. What is trade union? What it does in industry? Function of trade union according to you have seen all these notes we discussed in the class. If anything missing, I will resend it, but it is there with you, all the notes. Industrial dispute and trade union. These two scheme, to the act are there in the first section. Provisions of Trade Union Act in 1926. You have seen all this slide. So, what are these sections in this act? What are these sections? Suppose section 10, cancellation of registration. How the cancellation happens? Registered office section 12. So each section, what are the description? What it says that the important sections are given. Section 13, registered trade union. Objects on which general funds may be spent. So how the funds in the trade union will be spent, that is defined in section 15. Section 18, 27, dissolution. How the trade union will be dissolved. ILO, International Labour Organization. ILO Convention. What ILO says about this Industrial Dispute Trade Union Act, what ILO thinks, what its conventions, that is given here. Role of ILO in promoting industrial relations. What ILO does to promote in the industry have a good relations between employees and employers. So what is the role of ILO? Then we have given several rules in different slide. There are different rules on industrial dispute. starting from rule 1 to rule 80, I think, 69, rule 80. In the last, we have given some case study. Some dispute happened in the industry. So those companies are given, and then explanation is given. What was the dispute? So in these two things, industrial dispute and trade union, so important thing is you need to understand what are the features, why this two act is in place, what are the features, objectives of industrial dispute and this trade union act, what is the definition, how it is formed, and you are seeing in the screen effect of the strike, the different forms of dispute. Strike is one important form. So what is the effect of strike? What is the impact on business, on country, on employee? So these are the important concept in this two work. Then we can go through it, different things. Then another section is wage related, that payment of bonus act, wage act, minimum wage act. I think this thing is there in the payment of wage act. What is the wage? What is the definition of wage? How it is defined for all the calculation, and what is not wage? The term wage, what it includes, what doesn't include. We have given the definition that is important in section 2. What is the objective of wage act? Then what are the features? If someone is working, employer is obliged, or this is one obligation of the employer to give the compensation to the employee. So that is one important feature. Wage period, time and mode of payment of wage, how the wage is paid to the employee, wage period, whether daily or weekly or monthly, how it is defined, deduction, what are the deduction we understood, what you can deduct, what you cannot deduct, all the deduction we have a separate slide at that. So we understood, we discussed the wage period and that what is the impact of timely payment of wage. What is the timelines when the wage will be paid, and the wage period we discussed that is there in the act. Whenever you are giving employment to someone, you are defining the wage period, whether you are paying daily, monthly, weekly, based on that, how you are giving the salary, whether cash or bank or check, everything is defined. Deduction, what are the component you can deduct, what you cannot deduct, and penalty if you not deduct or if you do wrong deduction. So there will be some penalty. The definition of wage. Then we have some highlights on those topic. Different section of this are what it says. Section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these sections, important sections. Minimum Wage Act. Why the government has fixed a minimum wage? What is the objective of this act? What is the main function of this act? That is important. Minimum Wage Act. History of Minimum Wage Act. Objective, as I said. This one you remember, this is important. What are the criteria when you are fixing the minimum wage, or what are the criteria controlling the whole thing? So these are the different criteria you have to consider when you are fixing the minimum wage. Wage committee. Then we have given the minimum wage of different state. This is one example in Orissa. Skilled, unskilled, semi-skilled, highly skilled. We kind of define what is skilled, what is unskilled, what is semi-skilled. Then the bonus act, the history of bonus act, when it is started and how it is converted into the act. Started from 1917 and converted into act 1965. Objective. What is the main objective of bonus act? Applicability of the act. Where it is applicable. What is the main condition of the applicability? Philosophy of labor law. What is philosophy of labor law? What you are discussing in the whole syllabus is labor law. Ultimately, the philosophy is to make laborer happy. Suppose you are working or you employed some people at your home, at your shop, at your industry, whatever you are a manager, you manage people. So ultimately, you have to make your people happy. So that is the main philosophy. To make your people happy, it is a single word. I told it very simply. But you have to do 100 things to make your people happy. Those 100 things are nothing but these acts, these rules. We are working on that. We are discussing. So this act you see, Factory Act, Employee Provident Fund Act, Maternity Act, Apprentice Act, Workmen's Compensation Act, Gratuity Act, Wage Act, Bonus Act. These are to streamline and make the people happy for all these benefits what you are paying. There is a calculation how bonus is calculated, and we have some example how it is calculated based on this formula. Then we have some questions we also discussed. There are features of Wage Act 1936. What are the features? Once you read it, you'll understand so many things. They are very easy, but only thing you have to read the key point, then you can narrate a lot of things. Wage Act, Minimum Wage Act, and Bonus Act. These are related to compensation. Then we have Social Security Act. Under Social Security, Gratuity Act, PF Act, EPF, Maternity Act, Insurance Act, so many things we studied. EPF Act, ESI Act, Workers' Compensation Act. This is Workers' Compensation Act. What is the meaning we understood? Features of Workers' Compensation Act. Workman means employee. Compensation means କ୍ଷତିପୂରଣ. ଜଣଙ୍କର କିଛି ହେଲେ ତୁମେ କ୍ଷତିପୂରଣ କ'ଣ ଦଉଛ? That defines everything in this act. If someone is meeting accident, then what is the compensation? Everything in detail it's mentioned in the act. Scope of Workers' Compensation Act. Employer's liability for compensation. Employer who is employing the people under him. So it's one of his liability to compensate if someone is incurring any loss due to any accident or any health damage, mental damage. So employers is liable to pay the compensation to the employee. Coverage. Here are some basic things which all insurer cover. So what you can cover in this act? What are the different type of accident, or what is the loss? What kind of loss will be covered under this act? So those are mentioned here. Workers' compensation are claimed the amount of compensation. What is the amount? The financial amount of the compensation. Then in which situation the compensation one can claim? What are the different situations? Accident, I told accident, injury. So when it can happen, what are the situation it mentioned? Then different doctrine of assumed risk, doctrine of contributory negligence, doctrine of common employment, doctrine that personal claim, doctrine of unknown person. These things we discuss, these are important. You read, we have given slides for each things. What you can do, you download all my class note and save it folder wise, paper wise, then you can study and practice writing. We discussed ESI Act, EBF Act, Maternity Benefit Act. In maternity benefit, that is mainly women worker giving all the benefits to the women worker so that women worker will be motivated. And the PF Act, how and how was the contribution going from the employer to PF, pension, insurance. We studied. That is important. And gratuity, the formula, how the gratuity will be calculated, why the gratuity is given, what is the objective of this. So what kind of support this act are giving? Wage Act, SI Act. So for each act you go through the objectives. Bonus Act, Gratuity Act, TF Act, ESI Act, Maternity Act, the objective. What is the purpose of this act? In each class, I have given some notes. So the same slide what I was showing you. Now you go through it, you save it, and let me know if you have any question. This is all about your syllabus. Everything is there.